Hey everybody, Rihanna M. Hill here to share with you today a little toppings of how to grow your email list using Facebook ads. This is a very popular topic and a conversation that I have with folks several different times a week of wanting to build a Facebook ad, having some content, and having all those pieces come together into an email list for them. So a lot of these same strategies can also be applied to bots, but I'm going to focus mainly on growing your email list because that is something that has a lot of value for business. So welcome. Today we're going to talk about this. Got my handy dandy little notes here to go through and say with how to grow your email list with Facebook ads, why you might want to do this. We'll cover how to plan it, talk about the different types of content you might use for this, and then the process, which starts with attraction, collection, and sharing. Attract, collect, share, more specifically. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right in. So why would you want to grow your email list? What are the benefits of having an email list? Well, there's quite a few. While it may not be as popular or as successful as 10 or 20 years ago, email marketing, sending newsletters, sending content to people still is a very effective way to have additional conversations with your customer, to share value with them, have touch points. You know, they're already following you on Facebook, seeing that content. Following up with them with an email list as well is another great way just to stay top of mind for that customer, as well as share value for them. Another benefit is once you have that email list, it kind of lasts. Unlike Facebook followers, Instagram followers, or those other sorts of traffic options, they don't necessarily last. If you get rid of your Facebook page, you can't really reconnect with those followers in that same way. But with an email list, you have those emails that you can connect with people. You don't lose that contact information from individual people. And that's something really, really powerful to have, especially if you're using a CRM system, which is really, really valuable. I really like HubSpot. There's many good ones out there, but CRMs for email are great. And that's a customer relationship management system. So continuing forward, another reason that you might want an email list is, I've touched on this a little bit, but giving out free content, sharing really valuable content with your audience, your potential clients, your customers. What do you want to send to them? So for example, we have a monthly newsletter, or weekly actually, I think it is now, where it has different blog posts that has good information for how to do various things and tips, similar to providing the information here. We also include links to various resources that we find helpful and share something interesting for folks. Because this is a topic, digital marketing is a topic that people want to learn a lot about. So having just that other medium, that other resource where you can share content with your audience is great to have. So those are some of the reasons of why you might want to build your email list. Why you might want to do this with Facebook ads? Well, it works. It works really, really well. I've had instances of being able to gather email leads for $1 or less sometimes, which anyone who's ever purchased leads, or I don't think this is as common, but you used to buy like a list of contacts, you know, for cold calling or for cold emailing, those sorts of things. It can easily be $5, $10 per contact information. And a lot of those people were just put on a list and didn't necessarily want to be there. When you use this Facebook ad strategy, these folks are all opting into being on your email list. So they want to receive that contact, they want to give you your contact information so they can get information from you. So that's kind of an additional benefit of this part of the process for building your email list. So the next step here is talking about planning it. How do you go about planning growing this email list by using a Facebook ad? So just like any kind of marketing strategy, you want to figure out a timeline and a budget. Personally, I really like to advocate for something that's ongoing because continuously reaching new people and building that list is a really good thing to do. I have an ongoing ad set. I think it's about $2 a day right now, and that's how I use Facebook ads to build our list. Perhaps there's a big promotion you have coming up or a big sale. Maybe you're about to launch a new course or even just launch a new business. And so you really want to take that budget and build that email list up as fast as you can. So another method there might be, instead of doing $60 or so a month, you take that whole year's budget of $500, let's say, and you do it all in 2 months. And then you have that email list and you just nurture that email list for the next, you do that over the course of 2 months and then spend the next 10 months just nurturing them. Or you do some combination of both. Whatever fits your business, whatever makes sense for your goals, always start with your goals, then determine your budget and your timeline and plan around that. You also want to have a time set each week or so where you can check this and see how it's going. The higher the budget and the higher the goals with the shorter the time frame, you're going to want to check it more frequently. So if you go, for example, with the $2 a day method, you'll want to have check in like once a week once it's going. I think I check ours every Friday. Whereas if you're doing the $500 option over the course of 2 months, especially in the first few days, you're going to want to check that every day and make sure you're keeping it fresh and up to date, changing your audience where you need to, and having good content in there. So with planning this process, find something that's going to fit really good for your business and stick with that. Finally, the content. So this is a big piece. What kind of content can you give people that they will give you their email address, their contact information for? Why would they want to do this? Well, there's literally dozens of options that you can do. One of the most successful ones as of now for December 2019, as we sit, is a PDF. PDFs work really, really well. So this would be some kind of workbook or quiz or evaluation, assessment. Quizzes almost always work amazing, depending on your audience, of course. But some sort of workbook or something that people can download to have themselves. That free content is really, really valuable. So, and it doesn't even have to be that fancy, you know, you can download a template, you can use Canva like we do, even a PowerPoint presentation, just something that has valuable content that your audience might want. So for example, let's say you have an ice cream shop and you have this really cool recipe for how to make your own ice cream at home. And that would be something that you made as a PDF that you could download. Another option is video. So this could be used in several different ways. One of the most common ones is that webinar. So I'm sure you've seen this before or attended some of these, but you go through, you see this ad, you learn all about it, and you're like, yeah, that's information I really want. And you go ahead and you sign up and you get to watch a webinar, whether it's live or a replay, or you have a video series emailed to your inbox. That is some content that a lot of times people will sign up for. And especially for a webinar, when somebody wants a training, if you're selling a course, you're really getting people who are interested in watching videos and getting training and getting courses. So that's something to keep in mind as well for this content piece, is what is your overall objective? What are you hoping that this audience will do? Another thing that often works well is starting with a video and then seeing if people will sign up for a call, and then gathering that email list there, as well as being able to have that first conversation with somebody, or starting with a video to go to a PDF, or start with PDF, go to a video. Any combination of these that fits with you. If you just absolutely cannot make a video and you will not do it, it's terrifying, you just don't want to, you don't think your audience is going to watch videos, then make a PDF. If your audience is really interested in reading and they like long posts, then, write out some sort of blog post or some sort of content that way. That is how you can go ahead and figure out this free piece of content that you're sharing with somebody in order for them to give you their contact information. And of course, with those of you who are familiar, Russell Brunson calls that the ethical bribe funnel, so to speak, of you're bribing people ethically by giving them content for their contact information. More and more, I think people are already familiar with that concept and they already know that idea. And so when you sign up for this, it's because when I sign up for something especially, and I've heard this from other people too, you're downloading content that's relevant to you, and receiving more information about it is usually welcome. Granted, we can get inundated with email, but that's just why you have to provide better content that's really valuable for your audience. So moving right along, now that we know why you might want an email list and why you would use Facebook ads to do it, you've planned this all out, and you have an idea of what your free content piece is going to be. The next strategy is the process. So I've touched on this a little bit, but the process is effectively attract, collect, and share. So you want to attract, collect, and share effectively. So what this means is attract with that free content piece or with a good headline. What is the problem that you're solving for these people with this, for your audience, with this piece of content? So back to the ice cream recipe, perhaps your store isn't open during the winter months, and so people still want to have good ice cream at home, but they can't make it out to your store. So providing them, make this good recipe right in your own home will provide that attention-grabbing headline. And some of you might be thinking, oh my goodness, why would you give away your recipe? Then no one will come to your store. It's been proven that people like that. We can make any kind of recipe at home, and yet we still go out to restaurants. It's all about the experience. So that way you just make the experience at your shop a little bit better than what folks can have at home. We're just different. So they have one experience at home and they have one experience in what you can serve them at your store. But you'll want to attract them with something that's important. How is this piece of content going to make their lives better and in a fairly effective way? So then next is the collect. Collect the contact information that you want from them. Is that going to be their name and their email address most likely? Or do you have a few questions you want them to fill out? Do you want them to agree to sign up to a newsletter, or is it a bot for information? That collecting information piece is how you build that list up, and is kind of the purpose for building your email list, but it also is good to lead with that and just be aware of that. How are you going to do that? Another part of that could be if you have a specific landing page and you put the Facebook pixel on your website with a special tag for that landing page so that you can retarget people who visit that page with another ad. That's another way to create a list and collect folks. But unlike an email list, you can't really keep that list and use it for anything else. Whereas if you have an email list, you can upload the email list into a Facebook audience and retarget them with some ads as well, which is why I recommend email lists. So that's part of the collect process. Then finally is moving on to the share. Once you've done that, share that content and share more. If they're expecting one PDF, give them 3. If they're expecting one video, follow up the next few days with additional content, or share those other pieces of information with them. It's very, very helpful and very valuable. And trust me, the more value you give your audience pays off in the end. So to recap, we shared a little bit today about how to grow your email list using Facebook ads. Why you might want to do this is to have an email list that you can work with in several different ways. And Facebook ads are a very simple and effective way to go about this process for a good price. That is people actually opting in who want to be on your email list and receive your emails. Then the next piece we covered is planning it. So what's your budget? What's your timeline? Finally, or thirdly, looking at the free content piece. Is it that video? Is it going to be a PDF? Are you hoping for the webinar? And finally, the process. So effectively, just the step-by-step, you're attracting, collecting, and sharing. So that's it today to talk about how to grow your email list with Facebook ads. I'm Rihanna M. Hill. Please let us know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.